Okay. Thank you. Oma Gyanatminandasha Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshuramalitamina Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So we're in Bhagavad Gita chapter 7. We only have a half hour today. We'll try to take verses 14 through 19. A very nice passage. So in the previous passage, Krishna has talked about his identity with everything, because everything is his energy, and the energy is not different from the energetic source. So he spoke about his identity with everything, how he's the cause of everything, how he's the essence of all the things that we depend upon for our existence, and that we are also attracted to for our enjoyment. He's also discussed how he's entered into everything and pervades everything for maintaining it as a super soul. He is like the threads that make up a shirt. The shirt is literally just threads woven together lengthwise and crosswise, but it looks like a shirt to us, but actually it's just threads. But we do not see the threads, we see the shirt, and we get preoccupied with that. So similarly, the Lord is everything lengthwise and crosswise in this world, but it looks like people and environments and technology and so on. We get preoccupied with that. So although he is literally everything and he's everywhere, still no one knows him. So why is that? Because they do not see what is behind the play of this material nature. They just see the material nature itself. Just like I remember some students from Christian school, they came to the temple and they were saying, God is everywhere. Why God is only you? I was making argument that God is only in the temple. Of course, our philosophy doesn't say like that, but that was my argument, that God is only in the temple. So they say, well, you say God is only in the temple. God is all pervading. He is everywhere. So at that time, I somehow have this memory that the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie had just come out. So I asked many of them if they had seen the movie. They said yes. So I said, how many of you went to the movie theater to see God? He is also equally present in the movie theater, but you didn't go there to see him. Rather, you went there to see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, isn't it? So in the same way, although God is existing everywhere, we only see the external environment, and we get preoccupied with that. So for that reason, Krishna says, no one knows me, who is beyond this world and unchanging. So then how can one begin to know God? So that is described in the next verse, 7:14. This is a very popular verse, famous verse. Deviation gunamayi mama maya darateya mam eva ye prapadyante mayami tam tarantite. So this divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes of material nature, is very difficult to overcome. So the word Daivi comes from the word Deva, and the word Deva means those who sport with enjoyment, because the Devas are persons who are in higher planetary systems and they can enjoy nicely. So the word Deva means one who sports with enjoyment. And the word Daiva means, it's in a possessive case. This is mentioned by Acharya. So the idea is that Daiva refers to that which is meant for the soul's enjoyment. So the soul is trying to enjoy in this world, and in his attempts to enjoy, the soul is getting bewildered. Isn't it? Just like you also try to enjoy so many ways. Even this today is such nice weather. I didn't go outside today. I was sick, but the weather inspires a spirit of enjoyment, isn't it? And I'm sure there will be plenty of people tonight outside trying to enjoy, and there will be plenty of them who are frustrated because that is the nature of the atmosphere itself. So Daiva means those who sport with enjoyment or and are bewildered. So Daiviyesha gunamayi mamamaya dharataya. They are trying to enjoy the gunas of nature. This material world is comprised of the different gunas of nature. The gunas are also, the word guna means mode. So the mode of goodness, the mode of passion, the mode of ignorance. And these different modes of nature combine together and recombine and recombine and recombine to formulate all the physical and psychological variety that we see. Yes, you understand this point. The word guna also means rope. So just as when you make a rope, not that I've done this, but I've heard, just as when you make a rope, you take 3 strands and tie them together, and then take those strands and tie them together, and that way it's. So the gunas also refer to the ropes that condition us in this world. So Deviation gunamayi. So the jivas are kind of roped down by these gunas. As I always like to say, well, I like to say this now, that you don't realize that you are free. You realize when you're free when you can stop doing something. Everyone says, I am free, I am free. They think freedom means freedom to indulge. But that is easy. Freedom is experienced when you can stop doing something. And that's how you realize how free you are or how free you're not. Just like yesterday, we had Tuesday night kirtan. So I requested everyone to put their phones on airplane mode. And then I said, and if you have the power, you can turn it off also. But no one could turn it off. They didn't have that sort of power. So the word gunamaya means you're roped down by these modes of nature. So mama maya dharatya, they're very hard to surmount. Just like if you're tied down by the hands and feet, then how you will get out? It is not possible. So the souls in this world are tied down by the gunas of nature and their experience of the gunas. Sometimes people like to speak of experience as giving them more and more enlightenment. One feels this way, that if I get more and more experiences, I become more and more like enlightened, like I have more, know more of the world and so on. But actually the way experience works is that the more experiences you have, the more conditioned you are by those experiences. I often give the example because I had a Johnny experience when I was 9. And then I had 2 Johnny experiences in the same week, actually, when I was 9. Drowning. I went to one pool place, and my brother was there in the deep end of the pool. My brother's an introvert, so he was kind of a loner. And I'm pretty gregarious, so I was having a good time, but I saw my loner brother by himself, so I went to go hang out with him for just a few minutes to do the courteous thing. And after I talked to him, I jumped inside the pool because I thought it was just the same length across, and I went under, and I was drowning. And then the lifeguard, I was like on this side of the pool, she went to the edge of the pool, she said, grab my hand. I was like, we have an issue here. If I could swim, then I could swim over and grab your hand. But if I'm drowning, that probably means you need to get in the water and get me. Anyway, several days later, I had another Johnny experience. So because of those 2 experiences, I have a little bit of hydrophobia. It's not like totally crippling, but I feel uncomfortable with the water because of that experience. So that's just one experience, how it conditions the mind. Similarly, people have bad experiences of religious people. And that one bad experience of one religious person, we all get the credit for it. So in the future, you interact with some religious person, you project that bad experience into that future person. So in this way, experiences bind. So in this way, you can think of all sorts of experiences that you have and think how much has that experience enlightened you and how much of that experience has conditioned you. So Deviation gunamaya mamamaya dharatya. So these jivas, they're experiencing so many things in this world, the gunas, and these gunas are roping them down. With every experience, another rope is placed upon you. Every experience, you're being tied down. So you'll not be able to get out. And those experiences condition you to respond to certain things in a particular way. And according to how you respond, that gets another rope on you. And that way, how you will get out? Every action you do throws another rope on you. So Krishna says, Mameva ye prapadyante mayamitam tanatite. Only those who surrender unto me, they can become free from this gunas of nature. Those who surrender unto me, mayam itam tanantite, they easily cross beyond this maya. Otherwise, not possible. So one can know Krishna by surrendering to him. So then the question comes, well, that means the intelligent people should surrender to you, but not so many people are surrendering. So then Krishna talks about that in the next verse. Yes. Namam duskriti no mudha parpadante naradamaha mayaya prahita jnana asuram bhavamashritaha. So he says there are 4 types of duskriti. Duskriti, Prabhupada's translated here as miscreants or rascals. The word kriti means meritorious credit. When you do some proper work, you get the merit of your work. So if you've worked hard, you get a degree. So that degree is the merit of that hard work that you put in. So the word kriti means the meritorious credit that you've done for some work. The word duskriti means someone who has misused that credit for something that is not proper. So namam duskriti namuda. So the duskriti means they have some merit, but they are not using that merit properly. So he says these duskriti persons, there are 4 types. First one, fool. Second one, lowest of mankind. Third one whose knowledge is stolen by Maya or illusion. And the fourth one is a demon. So these duskriti persons, they do not surrender to me. So the Muda is a person who's just like an animal. They have this term in Sanskrit, Dvipadapashu. Dvipadapashu means 2-legged animal, human being. He a 2-legged animal. Because the humans and animals have 4 things in common. They're interested in eating, sleeping, sex life, and defending. These 4 things everyone has in common. Humans think they're very sophisticated, but it is the same only. Like if you look at sleeping, and the first is mating also, though it's connected to the mating process. And and then defending. They have many ways of defending. So what is the difference between humans and animals if life is just surrounded around these 4 things? There is no difference. Unless a human lives for a higher purpose in life, then he is simply, as the Vedas say, he's simply a 2-legged animal. He, she is a 2-legged animal. Vipadapashu. So the Muda is this type of person. He's a fool that just lives like an animal. So much engrossed in sense enjoyment that they do not care for spiritual subject matter. So just like you got books set today, Sapta Rishi said they've given. So they're stopping so many people. Well, they're trying to stop so many people, but they're not interested. And they say it in a very polite way. No, thank you. Why no thank you? Because I am like animal. And I'm only interested in the material enjoyment. They're not interested in spiritual life. This is not meant to be a put down of humanity. It's just more like an expression of the fact. If the human being doesn't use his intelligence for living for a higher purpose, then they're just like at best, a sophisticated animal. And at worst, a very dangerous animal. Just like you could imagine the lion, if he had an intelligence like a human being, then we would be in trouble. Or you've never been to India, Vrindavan, but there are tons of monkeys in Vrindavan, like everywhere. They can literally take over the joint. There's so many monkeys, but they don't have intelligence like human beings, thank God. But sometimes I joke like this, what if they had intelligence like humans? Then we would be in trouble. So the Muda does not surrender because they're preoccupied with this animal life. Then Naraduma means the lowest of mankind. So the lowest of mankind refers to persons who take up spiritual life and then abandon it for various reasons. This Acharya is giving comment like this. This is called lowest of mankind. That you've identified what is the purpose of human existence and what is the right use of human intelligence for upliftment, for transcendence ultimately. And then you abandon that to go back to a life of just wanton sense enjoyment. So you're the lowest of mankind. You're considered even lower than the persons who don't come, because at least they didn't have any clue. They were just in pure ignorance. But here we are knowing, and then we also don't do. So this is considered very low. Nara Adhama, lowest of mankind. So they also not surrender. Then there's Mayaya Aprahita Gyan. So Gyan means knowledge. Aprahita means snatched or stolen by Maya. So this is like the academy. Everyone's in school, they're learning, taking gender studies now. They're forced to take these classes now. Our Travis just went to go see some friends recently. So at an art show. And art is something very interesting nowadays. Someone like takes a paint thing and just throws it on the wall and then puts their signature on the bottom. and then charge lots of money. And people are buying. This is called Maya upper hit again. Knowledge is stolen by illusion. These the art situation is particularly is interesting. Some young boys, they went to some art exhibit and saw much art like this. So one of the boys had glasses. He took his glasses off and just put it on the floor. And then got on the floor and started looking at it to perceive like this is very sophisticated. His other friend was there, like with a notebook, pretending like he was studying a thing. So a big crowd came and surrounded the young boy. They were making a prank video, to show how ridiculous the situation is becoming. And their video was successful. And so many people came around and said they were studying glasses on the floor. This is art. This is art. Maya aprahita. So their knowledge is stolen by illusion. Or they have various speculative theories about the nature of existence, God, what is the world, and so on. Various theories are promoted. And none of them are in accordance with the absolute reality as presented in the tradition. So Krishna says these persons' knowledge was stolen by illusion. And then the last category is asura. The asura just means demons. They're just not interested in God. And they try to kill God also. Or they do anything that is opposite godly life. That is the nature of a demon. And one pastime, Krishna was there, the churning of the milk ocean. It's a very famous pastime. And the demons and the demigods wanted to churn the milk ocean to get nectar to live for eternity. So Vishnu was on the side of the demigods. So they had to use Vasuki. So Vasuki was like a snake rope, a fire-breathing snake. And so Vishnu grabbed the head of the head of the snake. And so the demons, because they just think in the opposite way, they said, why did you grab the head? We want the head. Because you're favoring the demigods, therefore you have grabbed the head. So Vishnu also knew they had that mentality. So he on purpose grabbed the head. It's described in me. So the demon said, no, we want the head only. So Vishnu, okay, you take the head only. And then when they started turning the thing, then the snake started breathing fire, and all the demons were getting blasted with smoke and fire in their face. And Vishnu was having a good laugh. So asura means like this. They always think opposite of the godly life. So these 4 types of persons, they do not surrender to Krishna. They remain bound by the material energy, by the different gunas, by their experiences. So in the verse after that, well, who surrenders then? Because that list of 4 people sounds pretty comprehensive. It's a lot of these types in the material world. So then Krishna mentions 4 types that do surrender to him. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino. Arjuna. So there are 4 types of persons who worship me, and they are sukriti. So remember, the word kriti means meritorious work. So there is dushkriti, they misuse the kriti, and then there's sukriti. They use their kriti properly, and they worship Krishna. So he says there are 4 types. So these 4 types, they exist in 2 categories. They're devotees, but they exist in 2 categories. One category are devotees who want something from God, and another category are those who don't want anything from God. They just want to worship God. So those who want something from God, they're called as sakama. Kama means like desire. So sakama is some kama. They have some desire to be fulfilled for themselves. And the other type is nishkama, without any kama, to be fulfilled for themselves. So in the sakama category, Krishna mentions there are 3 types. Arto, Jignasur, Atarti. So arta means they are distressed persons. They worship God. So this, in Kali Yuga, this would be the big category. Sometimes I say in Kali Yuga, there are 4 types that come to God. The distressed, the more distressed, the most distressed, and the superlatively distressed. So these are 4 types. But anyway, Krishna just gives them one word here. So when it's suffering, so they come to God for this reason. And they want their suffering removed. It's not that they come and they want the suffering to remain. They want the suffering to be removed. So they are sakama. Jignasu means they have so many questions about spiritual life. And so they come to God or some Bhakti Center community because they are curious. They want to hear some new terms, some new concepts Many times we see many types like that here. They come and they are very sincere in one sense. They ask questions. They like to hear all the categorizations and everything. They don't exactly have any intention of surrendering fully, but they are interested to ask questions. So they are also sakama. Their interest is not primarily in God, but in satisfying their quest for answers and spirituality. Atarti means they want something material, some material. Some people worship God for a wife or a husband. Of course, this is probably less and less common nowadays because there are dating apps and so on, and people have more faith in those things. But previously, people used to have faith in God for material things. So they would go to God and ask God for material things. So these are three types. They are sakama. They have some desire to fulfill for themselves. Then there's the last category is nishkama, the Gani. The Gani just wants to meditate on God. He has no other desire than to meditate on the Lord. So he says, these are the four types of persons that come to me. So they are sukriti. They're very nice people. So of these four types, who is the best type? Who do you think? The last one? You are correct. So next verse, he says, Tesham Gani Nitya Yukta Eka Bhakti Vishishyate. So of these four, the best one, Vishishyate, is the Gani, who is Nitya Yukta, who is always desiring a relationship with me, and Eka Bhakti, with exclusive devotion. Not devotion motivated by desires to be fulfilled. That is usually how at least when we first come to devotional school, that the tendency is like that, some selfish desire to be fulfilled. But this one is Eka Bhakti. He's only interested in exclusive devotion, no desire to be fulfilled. Priyahi Ganino Artyartam. He finds me exceedingly dear, and I find him dear also. So this is verse 17. Well, does that mean the other ones are just like bogus? No. Oh, you intuited already. The other ones are not bogus. Udhara sarva evaite gyani twatmaiva me matam. Udhara sarva evaite means these other three types, they are also udhara. Udhara means magnanimous, which is a little bit interesting because Krishna is calling this devotee who worships him with material desires as magnanimous. Even though it is the Lord who has to give to them and not the other way around. So why are they magnanimous? Because they worship me. And they give me opportunity to reciprocate with them in that way. It's very interesting that Krishna will say this because despite them being materially motivated, he appreciates that they come to him. So that's kind of like the important point for Krishna. Sometimes devotees, particularly practitioners of devotion, we have a lot of kind of some scars, like bad experiences that play themselves out in our life of devotion, and then they're kind of embarrassing, and it makes us feel a little downcast, crestfallen. Sometimes we don't want to show ourselves before the deities, or show ourselves before the devotees, or show ourselves before humanity. You ever have experiences like this? And we get so kind of caught up in that infinitesimal point on the eternal time continuum. But for Krishna, the important part is if you worship him or not. That is the kind of the important factor. And giving him the opportunity to reciprocate with the fact that you've approached him, however you're motivated. Our Vedanta school is a pure bhakti school, so we don't encourage just maintaining material desires. But yet, that is the important factor for Krishna. I often joke like this, that while we're moping around how following our Krishna just wants to know if we're going to offer him the apple or not. We're saying like, I'm so following. We brought the flowers and the apple to offer to Krishna, but we're just like, I'm so following. I don't even know I should give this to Krishna. And he's like, bro, you can offer me an apple or what? That's what I want. I want to eat that apple. You gonna give it to me? I don't know, man. No, I think I'm gonna just eat it. So there you become a demon. So we should not become a demon. We should offer the apple to Krishna. That is the important part for Krishna. So Udaras all of these souls are great souls in my view, even though some approach with material desire. But of these four, Gani Admaiva Mematam. The Gani I consider to be my own self, like my own soul. Astita Sahi Yuktatma me Eva Anutamam Gatam. Being engaged in my transcendental service, he is sure to attain me, the highest and most perfect goal. Yes, the Gani Krishna considers to be his own self. And later we will hear for his devotee who has pure devotion without any material desires, but pure devotion, he considers that devotee to be more than himself. So the Gani considers to be himself, but his devotee with exalted love, Krishna considers to be more than himself. Therefore, that becomes a big tenet in Vaishnava tradition is the worship of devotees, because Krishna considers such pure devotees to be more than his own self, which is a little inconceivable. Last verse of the passage, Bahunam Jamanam Ante, Ganavam Mam Prapadyate, Vasudeva Sarvam Iti, Samahatma Sudurlabha. After many, many lives, Bahunam Jamanam Ante, Ganavam, one becomes a Gani, as we're hearing. Ganavam means full of knowledge or full of this Gyan. And because they're Ganavam, Mam Prapadyate, they surrender unto me. Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Such a soul sees Vasudeva everywhere. Or Vasudeva Sarvamiti can also mean he sees that Vasudeva is my everything. There's more devotional twist to it. Either he sees Vasudeva is everywhere, or he sees Vasudeva is my everything. Without Vasudeva, what is life? Samahatma Sudurlabha, such a great soul is very rare in this world. So the Sakama type is not at all rare. They're also rare, but if someone becomes interested in God, these are the types that usually come. I'm suffering, I want something material like this. But this Gani type is very rare, so many lifetimes it happens. So this is a section, the encouragement is for us to surrender to Krishna. We want to get beyond the ropes of the gunas and our external orientation. So Krishna hasn't delineated here in great detail how to surrender. So we are only told to surrender. So we should accept that point. And then follow-up question is then how to surrender like this. Okay, so we'll stop there for now because I do have to, there's one other program tonight at 8 o'clock that I have to, get ready for psychologically, mentally. Well, we'll take either a question or a comment or a reflection if no one has anything else.
So at the end,
what is your name again?
I'm sorry, Celeste.
Celeste, okay.
So Krishna values his most devoted higher than himself.
Yeah.
Is that how Krishna knows himself? Could he know himself without his devotees?
That's an interesting question.
Connected in that way? Like, does he need the reflection?
That's a very esoteric question.
Sorry.
So there are two types of explanations that come when we're talking about transcendental subject matters in our tradition. One is just according to like the theological perspective or the ontological perspective. And another perspective is according to the mood of Krishna. So they say it's an explanation according to tattva, which means like reality or ontological truth. And there's an explanation according to bhava, like the mood. So can Krishna know himself without his devotees? The answer is yes. Later on in chapter 10, Bhagavad-Gita, Krishna says, I know myself by myself. But that is just strictly theological or ontological. In terms of Krishna's mood, as he only reveals a little bit in the Gita, but he reveals uninhibited in the Bhagavatam. He cannot know himself without his devotees. So this becomes a huge tenet of many devotional schools, including our own, that Krishna, even the forms that Krishna takes are actually based on the mood of devotion of his devotee. So all the different, there's so many avatars we see. All those avatars have their different forms in reciprocation with a different type of devotee. So one question comes up, well, who came first, the avatar or the devotee? But they're both eternal. So this exchange of love between Bhagavan and Bhakta is eternal. So in that sense, in the bhava sense, Krishna cannot know himself without his devotee. That is also a viable explanation. And our acharyas have written many literatures in that vein. Without Radha, who am I? What is this Vrindavan like this? There are many prayers made like this and so on. So Krishna, of course, is God. He is all-knowing, but he also is a person. Therefore, we call him the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is supreme in terms of his personality, and not in terms of just his position. He is also the Godhead, but he's a person, and his personhood is put in the forefront. So in terms of his personality, he cannot know himself unless he is with his devotees. To attack his devotee is to attack him. So there's this one pastime where the Ras Muni, he's a yogi, he went to attack a devotee king, Ambarish Maharaj. Talk about extra. Ambarish Maharaj was fasting, and he needed to break his fast. So right when he was about to break his fast, this yogi who was known to have a temper problem came right at that time. So he was like, you should serve me. So Ambarish Maharaj says, yes, I'll serve you right now. But he said, no, first I want to go and take bath. So while he was taking bath, the time for breaking the fast came. So Ambarish Maharaj was confused how to break the fast. He talked to many of his counselors. They were also confused because they were very scared of this Muni. He's got a temper problem. If you break the fast and he finds out, he's going to trip. So figure it out. And so finally he came to the conclusion, I'll just take a little water. Now, a little water is considered like breaking the fast and not breaking the fast at the same time. So he literally just took like a little sip of water. While Devras Muni was bathing, he had mystic power. So he kind of said, he has broken the fast. So he came back. He started calling Ambarish Maharaj, was the name of the devotee, all sorts of cruel names. Like, bro, I'm just drinking water. He was like, how you call yourself a devotee? You're a demon. He was calling him all sorts of names. And then finally he just like, devotees, we keep this tuft of hair. He just ripped out some tuft of his hair and threw it on the ground, and it created like a fire demon of sorts, and went to attack Ambarish to kill him. So this is extra. Just because someone took some water. So the Lord kept one chakra there, always by Ambarish Maharaj's side. So when the chakra saw the fire demon, the chakra of the Vishnu just came and killed the fire demon, and then it started chasing after Ambarish or Devras Muni. So Devras Muni took off like Superman, and he was flying through the universe, and the chakra was just right behind him. Now in this pastime, I was wondering, how come the chakra couldn't catch him? So it was just like Vishnu was just putting like just enough feet to make him nervous. So he was flying. So he went to the planet of Lord Shiva, and he said, Lord Shiva, can you help me with this chakra? And Lord Shiva was like, nah, you finished, bro. That's Vishnu's chakra. Then he flew to Brahmaloka. And he prayed to Brahma. He offered a nice prayer to Brahma. It's like I would often wonder why he was offering prayers and the chakra just like paused for a second. Okay, he's offering prayer. I'll just chill out for a second. And then he asked Brahma. Lord Brahma said, nah, bro, you finished. Then the chakra again came. So he finally went to Lord Vishnu, Narayana himself. And Narayana speaks this very nice verse, Adayo Hridaya Mahyam. You know this verse? That the devotee is my heart, and I am the heart of the devotee. I know no one but him. He knows no one but me. So our acharyas comment in that purport, when Devras Muni attacked Ambarish Maharaj, it is understood that he wanted to give pain to the heart of the Lord. So that is how strong Krishna's identity is with his devotees. To attack them is to attack him. Or to know them is to know him. So therefore, you'll see in our tradition, we put a lot of emphasis on the devotees because they're very special. You will see in all these paintings we have, Krishna is always surrounded by some devotee, except for in this one. Maybe that's a mispainting. We have to tell Srila Prabhupada, I don't know, doubt. Butterthi. But in most of these paintings, you see he's with devotees because Srila Prabhupada said Krishna is always with his devotees. He's never by himself. So that has a big explanation. It's kind of an esoteric question. All right. Any final? I'll take one reflection, one or two quick ones. Travis, since you are looking so enthusiastic. Please, a little bit louder.
There are 4 types of duskriti and 4 types of suskriti.
Sukriti. Suskriti. What are the 4 types of dushkriti? Anyone can say. Who remembers? The demons. The demons. Everyone likes that one for some reason. We just like the demons. Well, they're all material, but
there's that focus on the material.
yeah, like the animals. Muda. They're called Muda, means like a donkey or ass. Muda, demons, and 2 other types. Mental speculators. Their knowledge is stolen by Maya. And there's 4th type, Naradama, lowest of mankind. What are the 4 types of Sukriti? You look, you took note? Nice. What are the 4 types? You tell.
Artha.
What does that mean?
Stressed person.
Yes. You were in that category when you came?
Yeah. Then I didn't get the Sanskrit, but interested in asking questions.
Yes. That is also rare, but it happens. You can ask it.
Athartha.
Atharti, yes.
Wanting something material and non.
Nice. Very good. Thank you all very much. We'll stop there for now. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.